Yo, what's going on, everybody? So I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about something that's running rampant in the Boruto slash Naruto community, which is whether or not Jigen is an Otsutsuki or whether or not he's actually an Otsutsuki clan vessel. And it's something that can go either way depending on which side of the conversation you're on. So with that being said, if you're an anime only viewer, I'm gonna highly recommend that you guys click off of the video because I am going to be talking about some major things that happen in the current Boruto chapter. I thank you for your support. So with that being said, if you're still here, I'm gonna assume you're okay with any type of spoilers. So after having a couple days to sit down and reflect and think things through, I've started to change my opinion. At first I was thinking, damn, it's very likely that Jigen might be some type of alien. It's something that, you know, ABD and I talked about in private about it being a possibility. And the more I got to thinking about it and just looking at what we've actually seen in this chapter, I'm starting to come around to the idea that Jigen isn't necessarily an Otsutsuki, but instead Jigen might be a vessel for one. Now, right away, I know that this is something that might kind of make people say, I don't fully agree with that line of thinking, because we clearly saw the hologram and we saw Jigen take on the appearance of that hologram. So he's clearly an Otsutsuki, and to that I would say that's a very good point, but I also think that we have to look at this more so from the sense of what happened with Mamoru Uchiha. See, this is the thing. I don't think Jigen is an Otsutsuki, but instead I think he's a vessel, just like what you saw with Mamoru Uchiha and Kaguya towards the end of the Naruto manga, or for you anime only viewers, towards the end of Naruto Shippuden. When you think about it, all he did was absorb chakra, just like Madara did from the Jubi. When you look at Jigen, he's absorbing chakra from the Jubi. Now, this is the other thing. Now, you have to look at it from this perspective. Even if he's an Otsutsuki, I, on one hand, think it is possible that he is potentially stronger than Kaguya, but at the same time, I think that if he is indeed the vessel, one thing that we do have to look at is the fact that we could look at how the vessels are used in the Naruto franchise, in particular when it comes to the Otsutsuki clan, and the biggest clue comes from Kaguya Otsutsuki herself, because look at it from this perspective. As a person who's going to hold the Otsutsuki and the vessel for that particular Otsutsuki that we're referring to, if you look at it, Kaguya resurrected herself from Madara. Madara absorbed the Shinju tree and he had the Jubi chakra inside of him, and then Kaguya was able to take over his body and basically resurrect herself. It's the exact same thing here. Whoever Kaguya's partner was, I think that Jigen, either his body was turned into a vessel for that person, or he's trying to prepare Boruto or Kawaki to become that vessel to revive the other Otsutsuki clan member. But more than likely, I think Jigen is already the vessel for whoever Kaguya's partner was in the past. And when you take all into consideration, that will make a lot of sense, because if you look at how Kodachi likes to write, this gives him a great opportunity to further expand on the stuff that got introduced towards the end of the Naruto franchise. Because when you read the Naruto manga, what happened with Kaguya, how she took over Madara's body, how Kaguya was brought into the story, everything was insanely rushed when it came to Kaguya. There was no foreshadowing until Madara brought her up when he was fighting against Hashirama Senju during the war. And for everything that happened, even with Black Zetsu adding all this exposition, even with the Naruto Shippuden adding a filler arc that got a little bit of information from Masashi Kishimoto, even with all that, we left with more questions than answers. And so when you take this into account and you have Sasuke doing all this investigating and gathering all this information, you have a character like Jigen, now we can start getting some answers as to how the Otsutsuki actually work. And I think him being the vessel is more than likely the most likely thing. Now, I was watching Bar B's Boruto chapter review, and Bar B made a really good point. He made a really good point, and his thing was he said, you know, when Jigen was first introduced, he thought that it was possible that Jigen might have killed a few different Otsutsuki clan members, which is why his karma seal is located where it is, and which is why his design looks the way that it does. And while I do think it's possible, I think that if we start taking into account what actually happened when Kaguya came to Earth, if Jigen really is that old, if he is indeed that old, then one of the things you have to look at is back during that time period, human beings, they didn't have a way to fight. They couldn't really use chakra. They couldn't use chakra until Hagoromo started going around giving everybody lessons on how to mold chakra and everything. Now, the other thing is let's just assume that when Kaguya came to Earth, and she had whoever her partner was, and they end up turning another body into a vessel. This gives us a great opportunity for even more world building, because one of the things that we've gotten introduced with the Otsutsuki clan is that via Momoshiki, when in the anime, when he's talking, he tells Naruto, you can't pass on your power to your son. That's a shame. What me and my clan do, we're all about transferring power. We're all about passing what we have to the next generation. I absorbed my former mentor. And so if you have that moment where Jigen is actually some type of vessel for an Otsutsuki clan member, everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. It explains why Jigen is as powerful as he is. It explains why he takes on the appearance that mirrors that of whatever that Otsutsuki clan member was that Sasuke saw. It also confirms Sasuke's theory. The only real question we have is, where the hell was this guy during the 4th Great Ninja War? Where the hell was this guy when everything was going on, when the Akatsuki were hunting the tailed beast? If he's really a vessel for the Otsutsuki clan, why is it that now he's making a move? Where has he been? Has he been in other space-time areas? Is that something that's possible? It very well could be. It very well could be. It could be that after Kaguya was revived, somehow he sensed that energy and came to Earth. That could be the case. But at the same time, this is something that I think that Kodachi, when he sits down and starts writing everything out and gives Ikimoto the story, I think that this is something that needs to be explained. But I want to know from you guys, do you like the idea of Jigen being a Otsutsuki better than him being a vessel, or are you like me? Do you think he's more of a vessel than anything else? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.